In Nova Scotia on December 6, 1917, it was a very busy harbor at the time, with ships coming and going to supply the troops in Europe. And there was a huge freighter called the Mont Blanc that was pulling into the harbor. And at the same time, a Belgian ship that was larger was passing this ship called the Emo. And the two ships collided, which on the face of it didn't look good, but didn't seem to be a huge catastrophe. There was a fire. What the men on board knew was that it was actually a time bomb. Because of the amount of ammunition on the boat, the fire, about 20 minutes later, caused a massive explosion that was, at the time, the largest explosion ever. And that explosion caused glass and metal and ash to really whip through the city, blinding many hundreds of people, and glass shattered some 60 miles away. It was a really horrific disaster that then led to a tidal wave, which was soon followed by a blizzard. So it was really just one thing after another. At the time, there was a minister named Samuel Prince who was eating breakfast near the port when this happened. And he immediately, like everyone else, began running around, administering first aid, trying to help people. But what made him unusual is that he became really fascinated by the human behavior that he saw. So he was really the first one to zoom in on this part of the disaster experience, which is, how do human beings actually behave? He noticed strange things, like, for example, the first relief station was set up by a troupe of actors. Why was that? And he noticed that there was a young man who was able to work at helping other people all morning, even though one of his eyes had been knocked out by the explosion. He noticed that other people experienced hallucinations, and that sometimes parents were unable to recognize their own children, especially if they were in the morgue. So he started to see that disasters offered opportunities in ways to sort of rebuild and to learn about the human experience, which was pretty much unheard of at that point in the research.